You're listening to NFT365, the first daily podcast on NFTs with your host, Fanzo, talking crypto, blockchain, Web3, non-fungible tokens, metaverse, and...
What the f*** is a non-fungible token?
We'll get to that.
What's up, friends?
What's up, friends?
What's up, friends?
What's up, friends?
Jordan! Good day, mate. What's up, friends?
What's up, friends?
Oh, man. What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode, or not another episode. This is a holiday off the rails episode with the entire, just about the entire NFT365 team. We will have the one of the members have been stolen by the Grinch, and at his age, I think he's probably out drinking and having a good time. Even though we know this might even be his bedtime, but the rest of the crew is here hanging out. We're gonna have a little fun with this episode. I guess all episodes are fun. At least I think so. But we're gonna have a little fun with maybe a little reminiscing on things that we loved in 2022. Although that list might be short. It's the naughty list. I don't know. I saw a TikTok today that said, I don't need much from 2023. I just needed to do nothing. Just come in. Don't talk to your friends. Don't screw up anything. Just give me 365 days of nothing. And then I think we would all be okay with a nice 1 year reset, which I think the NFT space, the Web3 space could probably use that as well. Although one could argue Sam Bankman Fraud decided to give us a whole bunch of nothing and upset everything. But so we have Allison, Kevin, Leslie, Carter, Jen, Jordash, and Elf Drew in the house today. So I think a fun way to start it off was we'll just say in your Santa bag now. We'll start, Carter. I'll start with you on your side, just to give you a little heads up. In your kind of Santa bag right now, what is your favorite NFT that you would be not willing to give up? And give us a little reason of why it's your favorite one. I know, Jenny, it might take you a while since most of your Solana NFTs I think no longer exist. So I'm just kidding. But Carter, I'll start with you, and we'll kind of just work our way up the screen here as we're recording on video. But Carter, what's the one NFT in your bag, in your Santa bag, that you wouldn't be willing to give to the children or to your friends or anyone else?
Well, so for those of you that know me, know that I love the NFT stuff, and I've been more focused on the community stuff. So the NFTs, and I haven't been as involved in other projects outside of this one. So absolutely, your NFTs, I think, would be my answer. And I'm not just saying that, but those are the only ones that I'll always hold forever. But I also was a pirate voice. A lot of people might not know this about me, but I did some pirate voices and voiceovers for Pirate Nation, which is a game that's just started. It's actually just been released not too long ago. And they gave me two founders pirates. So I sold one because I didn't need to, and I'll probably keep that one too. So I'll say my pirate aside from yours. That would be my answer. But yeah.
Are you feeling lucky with that pirate one?
Matey. I don't know. I'm holding on to it just because I did have some involvement. That's the only other real project I think that I did some work for on outside of this one. So I don't know. I think it holds a little special place in my heart, but it's getting up there, and a lot of people are involved in liking it. It's I don't know, Farmville back in the day. It's a lot of the same people that made that. So it's fully funded. So I don't know. It may do something, it may not. But I got a cool pirate NFT, so I'm stoked.
I like it. And Drew, and those that are around Drew's age, you can Google what Farmville is for the younger generation. That was what we called very entertaining gaming. Think of it as our version of Roblox, and we planted a bunch of things in Facebook. But I will also say, Carter, I know you caveat with that you've kind of been playing more in the community and not buying as many NFTs over the last 6 to 8 months. I think we all wish we took your lead by not buying NFTs for the last 6 to 8 months, because I'm not sure how many I've bought in the last 6 to 8 months that are worth more then I bought them. So in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things, you might be net positive in the NFT space compared to many of us. So
I'll tell you, it wasn't a choice. I had zero liquidity, so I just invested my time and effort, and ended up getting a lot of NFTs. But you're absolutely right, man. I sit back and think about that at this point, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not in a bad spot. I have data NFTs.
Nerd Collective.
Nerd Collective, and I have that app that they launched, and I
Yep.
looked at that, and more than half of my NFTs, I have a decent bag, but more than half of them I got from just putting time in, grinding in communities and just being part of communities. So I do look at that, and I'm stoked about that. But yeah, man, I don't know. Everything happens for a reason, or does not happen for a reason. So I'm stoked on what I have. So
I love it. So Jenny, we're gonna come to you, and I don't know if you're gonna pick your drums or your barrels, whichever one I always screw up. I still I messed up both of them. It's 400. What is it? 400 drums, barrels.
400 drums.
Oh, see,
400 barrels.
I question myself every single time. I wish I would just go with what I want. But yeah, Jenny, what about you? What say you?
I'm gonna go a little different, and I'm gonna go with something I just got recently, and it was gifted to me. So I recently became part of the elephant community, and they really shown me what true meaning of NFT and community is, and they're really special to my heart. So like I'm holding my elephant forever, and I would gift one away. But like, yeah, if I have to keep one, I'm keeping that in my bag. And I think everybody should experience the Elephant Project. So if you have time, check it out.
So I just tried to Google that, and Elephant Man came up. I don't think that is two of the same.
No,
I'm not going to
3L3. You got to
What
look up 3L3 and then Fant. PHANT.
replace the E's with threes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm now picking up on what you're putting down. Hey, I'm already following them. How about that? Probably because you retweeted them. So yeah, I will check them out. I'm not familiar.
Please do. They have the morning stomp in the morning, and that's what I was introduced to, and that's where they gave me a free NFT to come into the community. I love it.
I like it. On their Twitter account, they have a little back in 3L3 town, the Grinch made things right. He gave all the nuts back and was extra polite. I'm so glad that now we can all be good friends. I'll never do something like that ever again. Now Christmas is here, so what should we do? Let's put on a movie, Die Hard 1 or Die Hard 2. Like that. Well, I'm already a fan of 3L3 fans or elephants. So great one, Jenny. See it right there. We're discovering a new one out of the gate. Jordash, over to you. What say you?
I need some criteria on this, man.
No, it's just one in your bag that it's one that you don't ever want to give up. Well, that's the only criteria. You can go any way you want.
I'm looking at my spreadsheet and I'm sitting here. I'm like, there's some that's giving me money. There's some that give me utility. There's some that are playing for the future that I'm very confident in the future. So like I
feel as though the spreadsheet is the reason that the answer needs to be complex here. I think we throw out the spreadsheet and you say, what's the one that you're most when someone asks you about NFTs, what's the NFT that you talk about then? Maybe we go that way. Or just pick one there, Chiefs fan. Come on.
Look, man, we got a lot on our mind right now because we're actually going to the playoffs. So hold on now.
Jordash is sitting there counting his doubloons. He's like, I don't know. They're all making me money.
They're actually not. This is like investing in companies. You only need one to take off to cover the cost for all the other ones.
Now you tell me. That's what. Oh, thank God! I only need one to be good.
Hey, I mean, you're the biggest, probably diversified portfolio out of all of us.
That is not a positive thing.
I would say the one that I probably talk about the most is probably I'm gonna have to go back to the Phoenixes because that's the one that I use on a consistent basis. I use that app a lot to build my habits, change habits. So there's actually some solid utility in my own personal life that I've been able to pull from that wasn't financially motivated. but there's some ones right behind it, right? That I think they'll get overtaken in the next year if they do their things right. But I would have to, if I had to pick one, I'd pick the Phoenixes from Happiness.
I was guessing you're going to go that way. That was your number one draft pick on the
right.
The draft that we did with Delphi Cat on that episode in London, and that's the Phoenixes with a PH.
Yes.
And they have the Habit app that is it's Habit Nest is the name of the app. Great project, great community, and I mean I feel like they've they dropped it, and then they even said, I think during Mint Day, that start of the new year they had some big plans for it. So I'm excited for start of the new year for that community. So that's a good one, and super easy, low entry point right now for anyone that's looking for an entry point.
And I will tell you, I've actually bought quite a few of those, and I've gifted them to people that are just getting into the space, because I was like, this is a easy utility play for people to understand how what you can get with an NFT. So it's a great gift.
Who knew Jordash, the little elf over there, they're just giving out NFT gifts.
Everybody, I'm like the NFT Oprah when it comes to the Phoenixes. Everybody gets one.
I like that. All right, Leslie, we'll bounce over to you. Ms. Leslie, what say you?
Oh man, like as we were talking, I have like a folder like on my phone with like all my NFTs, and I was like scrolling through. I'm like, oh my gosh, because there's so many different reasons that you like different projects. And so this is really hard. Today, asking me the question today, I would have to say, just because it's one of the OG projects and I've been part of it since the very beginning, and I have a matching like set, is, if you can see it, this it's a Christmas theme axolotl, and it's a Santa hat and the Santa jacket, which is actually pretty rare. And I've always liked the axolotls. I know that it's been pretty quiet for a while now, but I've always really liked that community, especially when it's like one of the very first ones that I got into. But if I had to like pick on a non-Christmas theme sort of thing, I think that, oh my gosh, I really love, based on art alone, just art, which is like really at the end of the day, utility aside, that's what you have to look at, right? Whether utility comes to fruition or not. So if I have to pick something that I love, the art, my most favorite art is Justin Pierce, J. Pierce. I have multiples of his, and he's a Scottsdale-based artist that's an artist in real life, does amazing things, is super into funding education. So his have been my most favorite pieces of art, meaning I only bought it specifically for the art. That's it, because his art style is very much something that I love and appreciate. So that's probably my pick, little different.
I like the caveat of artists in real life, because it's like there is such thing as those that created art pre-internet, pre-NFTs, but I also like the Santa one. Although one of my bets that I hedged a year ago was buying a bunch of Festivus seasonal NFTs for our collection, believing that man, if this bull run keeps going, these festival NFTs, these elf joy and joy friends elves, and I got and even the one from Tom Bayou's wife, that one, the Mary Mods, they posted twice. Mary Mods was dropped in Christmas last year at 0.3 Ethereum mint price. 0.3, I'm not bitter. 0.3 Ethereum mint price that was held with the goals of it being worth something a year later. And well, yeah, we can all.
And that's 0.3 when ETH was, more than $1,200.
$0.3 at ETH. I think it was 36.80 or something when I
so it's 3 ETH today.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's more than ETH.
That just hurts. Mr. Kevin Sturmer, the voice of the intro. You get, I'm curious, what's in your bag that you don't want to give to anyone else? What's your
there's so many, and the running theme is what you've said on the podcast since the beginning. It's how do you define success, whether that's art, utility, what does it mean to you?
Oh, sorry.
Define success. Yes, the music NFT. No, that's not it. The one thing that I'm not giving away is my meta whip that you gave me during a Twitter space that has this little cute little bear sitting down on the ground, and I use that as my profile picture. I'm actually not utilizing the utility probably as much as I should, but it's just there's a meaning to it, so I that's my hold. The AI art, love the AI art that you did for us, and so mine's called Own the Damn Mic, and I love that. But I'm the one that I'm holding that just sort of has a lot of personal value to it. It's the Meta Whip. So that's it for me.
I love that one. That one, the minute I minted that one, I kind of knew that it was going to end up in your wallet. And I got to have the greatest teddy bear hug of all time in New York when we got to meet for the first time in person. I know many people saw that photo. There's a video. It was the best hug of 2022 for me, and it was long overdue. And so I love that you love that one. And I'll tell you what, you didn't really miss. Meta Whips has some big things coming. Like, I think people are sleeping on that project. I know Carter is in their fantasy football league, but of all the projects, they're 4 years into building a game. 4 years. They were building a game for digital before NFTs existed. Just, watch that one. And the cool thing is it was around right now. I think it was it might have been like 2 days ago, a year ago, when I literally reached out to them and said, would you come on the podcast? And he's like, we mint tomorrow. And I was like, how about tonight? And they jumped on the podcast that night. And like from that day, they also raised money for the wallet. They have been, one of my favorite communities, loving the death. So Carter, Carter, what say you?
If I win that fantasy football league, it's a $200 Applebee's gift card. We're all going to Applebee's. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Give me that sizzling. What's the
Applebee's on a date night?
There you go. We can do a TikTok with a Bourbon Street steak. I like that a lot.
Yes.
Delphi Cat, over to you. Not last but not least. What Doglians? I mean, what is your NFT that you don't want to leave out of your wallet?
Okay, so I like how Leslie said that to answer the question, you have to think about today and how are you going to answer it today? So today I have a story to tell you. This morning, I looked in my wallet. I can't remember why. I think I opened the browser on my phone and my wallet was in there, and I saw an NFT in there that was not in there last time I looked at my wallet. And I immediately became suspicious. And I texted some people, a couple of you are in this virtual room right now. And I was like, who put this in my wallet? If one of you didn't put it there, I'm like, I'm going to be really scared, like suspicious. Oh my God. And then it was Jordash actually, who texted back. He's like, okay, tell me the token number or whatever. And then come to realize that actually I put a WETH offer on the collection and I forgot that I did that. So it was for CPG. So a week or so ago, I put a WETH offer on the collection because I was on Blur and I wanted to get points for the Blur drops or whatever. And to do WETH offers, you get points. So I just put this kind of lowish offer and I thought, well, no one's going to accept it, but I'll get some points. And if someone does accept it, great. Well, then I got a CPG in my wallet this morning. So I'm really excited. I've wanted a CPG for a while and I've been kind of watching the floor price and I just hadn't jumped in yet. And then I ended up getting this great deal this morning. And anyways, so I realized I bought it. Jordash at the same time texted back, you accepted or you made a WETH offer, like everyone. So there was a few LOLs and a few teasing moments, but anyways, I ended up with the CPG. And yeah, I'm really excited that, it's a community of builders. And I always remember back that interview you did with Mikey Piro, who's the COO, I think, of CPG Club. And I really enjoyed that interview. And I know a few people that are in CPG and just rave about it. And so I'm really excited to get to know that community. I think I'm also going to take a page out of Leslie's book and mention a runner-up.
Hold on now.
I know.
I got yelled at.
Jordash had his spreadsheet, and Leslie just went to the second one.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so my second one is to give homage to some of the one-of-one artists. Okay, Sabbath. I just love his art so much. I've got I think 2 Sabbath pieces, and I just have to say I just love his spirit of his artistry and where he talks about that. Art is the utility and love is the road. No, art is the roadmap and love is the utility. Correct. Or the other way around. I just love that. And
art is the utility and love is the roadmap.
Art is the utility, love is the roadmap. That's right. And his art is just so awesome. He comes up on my Twitter all the time. And I think he's dropping a big collection next week. So that's my runner-up.
I like that runner-up. Jordash, do you have a runner-up that you're going to throw in there since we got two more runner-ups to go through?
I'm gonna play by the rules, but I do have a question. I want to test people's loyalty to their answers.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
If I go put a 5 ETH offer on that NFT today, are you accepting?
Ooh.
5.
Ooh, Kevin immediately
Kevin
said
said
no.
no.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. And I'm gonna go buy more elephants once I accept.
I'm going in deep. I like it.
I would take it for my J Pierce only because what I could do with that 5 ETH is go buy like a bazillion more. So I'd have an even bigger collection. That would be the only reason I would accept it. But for my Axolotl, like that rare one, I don't think I would accept it.
All right.
My MetaWit is literally my ride or die. So,
I wouldn't sell my Fanzo one for 5 for sure.
Oh.
Definitely wouldn't.
So you're saying there's no price to that? There's zero price that I could get
Nope.
that off your hands right now?
Nope. Couldn't do
20
it.
ETH right now.
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
That's
Oh,
how
y'all
crazy.
y'all
That's
crazy.
how crazy I am for
Y'all
it.
are crazy.
Because
Call me crazy.
When you look back, it's for me, the money is not how I'm defining success on that one.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair.
There's an emotional
100%.
attachment. So that's it for me.
That's
Yep.
fair.
But
You
yeah.
can buy a lot of emotional attachment with 20 ETH too, you know.
You can. But
I'm
it
just
won't
joking
be,
with you.
it may
I
not be
respect
that
it.
one. It may
I
not be
respect
that
it.
one.
The whole
I
NFT
respect
game's never call me crazy, but the whole NFT game for me has not ever been about money. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So
And I tell you what, that's a nostalgia call there, Jordash, because there was that CryptoPunk guy that put out that if someone, I think was it 500 ETH? What did he say?
Yeah.
He said
So it was something like that.
he said, yeah, he's like, I would not sell this CryptoPunk for 500 ETH. And 2 people came together and made an offer for 550 ETH on his NFT, and he held true to his not taking it for 550 ETH. Now, granted, we found out a little bit later that he had already submitted it for copyright and IP, and he had put it as his brand for this VC that he was kind of helping launch. So he had literally taken the IP and used it. But that's like, I mean, I heard that and I was like,
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
550 ETH.
Thank you.
But I like that. I like that caveat, right? I think that's a good one on kind of what what we'll kind of sit with. And I'll say, I like all the answers. I like the answers because like when people talk about NFTs, if people listen to this episode, no one was doing like cost dollar averaging. No one was doing like what I could resell it for in a year, in 2 years. And like, that's the true heart of this community. The people that would have only given a shit about what they could sell for a year, they're gone. They've like literally, they've left the space because I think they've kind of figured out like they're on to selling. I don't even know what the hell they're selling, Beanie Babies or V-Friends, Toys R Us dolls or something. They're trying to ROI, plus there. I will say like the one-of-one art like piece of this is like really a big part for me. That's been like, if you would have asked me a year ago, like I didn't really like I didn't think I loved art. Well, first of all, I didn't think I was an artist. Second of all, I didn't think I had like a taste for art. Like I was more of someone that was like my own shit. Like I didn't look at some, like everyone, I like Starry Night, my favorite piece, like Vincent Van Gogh. But it was also the only thing I got an A in art class my entire like growing up, is that I drew my own version of Starry Night. I still remember this in 8th grade in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Like that was like my connection. And I'll tell you, Sabbath and Gabe Weiss, both of them kind of came into the podcast and came into my world at like the time where I needed an artist to validate my own artistic style. And I know, Duffy, you said Sabbath, and like my Tokyo Punks, my pink Tokyo Punks, the 2 that I have that are like kind of the pink with the yellow face that I wear as my PFP a lot. I think those are probably 2 that would be at the top of my list. And then the Stoic that I have from Gabe. I think what Gabe is building, I think we'll look back at Gabe's artistic community building as probably one of the most, in-depth, strategic, and long-term ones that'll be around. So I think I would throw, Gabe, both of them are guests. I was able to message them before I ever dropped the very first AI art NFT. I messaged them, both of them, the picture, and said, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And the feedback they gave me was what allowed me to drop other ones. And so like, I owe a lot to them for that, that alone. I probably have the same sentimental reasons for a couple of the one-of-one pieces I've got, right? Like the very first one-of-one that I ever got was from Meta Whips, and it's my Jeep Wrangler. there's no chance in hell you're getting that from me, from my cold dead hands.
I want it.
And even for that 20 ETH, you're not getting the Jeep Wrangler, especially because it's like legit my Jeep Wrangler. As much as I hate my Jeep Wrangler, because the only thing more expensive than NFTs for me this year was that damn Jeep Wrangler. But but yeah, it's a journey in that whole space, and like what they all mean to us.
What a Super Bowl tickets for the next 10 years.
Can I say one thing?
Super Bowl tickets for the next 10 years.
Yeah, would you exchange it for that?
It doesn't matter. Steelers won't be there.
Hey, I didn't say that. And he's out.
Carter go? We lose Carter from the stream. Oh, sorry, Carter.
Carter got rubbed.
I'm just bitter. They beat my Panthers last week, so I'm still bitter.
Y'all should be used to that though. You got David Tepper.
Yeah.
What about Drew? What do you think Drew would pick?
I was going to say
ask Drew.
Let's answer for Drew. I mean, what are we going with the obvious like poop emoji, or are we going to go with?
Here's the thing though. It's a scary place going in Drew's bag.
Oh no!
I'm gonna go with poop emoji. Best thing of the year, poop emoji. Let's go.
I thought he was gonna say Hasbulla, the little Hasbulla one he just picked.
He
up.
loves that one.
He does.
He totally loves that one.
I don't blame him. It's a good one.
But
Yeah.
meta
His
athletes, we
second
got to shout out. Can we shout
Crypto
out meta athletes just a little bit though?
Favorite.
So shout out for meta athletes. Go ahead, Kev.
Can we got to shout out meta athletes for Drew. I mean, just the whole thing, because that's the things he's doing with the community that he's building, inspiring so many people to make themselves better. And he's doing, these 32-day challenges or 62-day challenges. I got it wrong, but yeah, he's really doing some great things, in Coach B and a lot of other people involved as well. So there's some good things going on. And while he might not pump that in his own bag, I feel the need to pump that. And I, one of my favorites that I didn't mention before, so I'm adding my second, would be my female meta athlete that I got recently. So
launching
cool.
the female collection was a big win for that team recently. So
and I'm participating in the Mile 62 challenge by watching Carter's time lapse of him warming up for his Mile 62 challenge. So Carter, thank you for letting me participate that way.
I'm gonna do it. I'm day 5 today.
I saw. I just like it, and I'm like, right. There was my mile. Do I have to? I don't remember. Do I have to I have to meditate and read or some shit? Like I'm just gonna
journal, meditate, and work out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
62 days.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's not happening in this side. But yes, shout out to meta athletes for sure.
This is a dude that can record a podcast and mint an NFT for 365 days, but he said no to 62 days.
I know. I did kind of ruin the idea of I used to be able to say consistency isn't my thing, and most people would go, "Oh yeah, ADHD consistency not your thing." Sure. Now it's like I can't really use that as an excuse.
Nope.
But I love everybody's kind of throwback NFTs, all the ones in their bag that they love. I think we talk a lot about community value. This podcast. I know there's some other podcasts. I actually had someone send me a really nice DM today and was like, "Fanzo, I don't agree with much of what you say, but I'm just glad that you don't just talk about floors and pumping, and you don't give me the top 10 most valuable NFTs every single week." And I was like, this is the most backhanded thank you compliment, I guess, that works. He's like, I don't really like any of your advice, but I think there's something beautiful about the community that we've kind of built around that. And one could argue, 9 months ago, most people have been like, you're crazy for not talking Yuga every episode. You're not talking, Azuki. Not talking. But I think the beauty of this is we were building for the long term, out of the jump. But with that being said, it's not all sunshine, rainbows, and all great. We've had a bear market. We've learned a lot of things. So Delphi Cat, I'm going to start with you. So I'm giving you a little heads up. We'll start on that side and kind of go back around. If you were looking at 2023, and let's just say not even a prediction, let's say it's your wish, your wish. We're going to try to stick to one, but we can give a little bit what is your wish for 2023 and this landscape, right? So think about it from, if we were doing this episode when we do this episode a year from now, and your wish came true, what would that make you happy, satisfied, you believe the space would go forward. And it doesn't have to be fluffy, or, you know, it can be like, hey, I need my bag to 10x. I'm like, trust me, the financial, if my bag 10x'd, I'd be investing a lot more artists and a lot more people. Let's be very, very truthful on that side. But Delphi Cat, we'll start with you and kind of work our way back around. So what say you on your wish for 2023 in Web3?
So for 2023 in Web3, I hope to develop more into the type of person that can be a resource for others. And you know what really inspired me to think more about that the past few days was Katie's episode. So Katie was talking about how we should all embrace being a resource for our friends and our family, and to be open and be proud of how far we've all come in Web3, and how, even though we might have only been in Web3 for 6 months or a year, whatever, we're so much more knowledgeable than we think we are. And if the masses are going to be onboarded, it's not only going to be through Starbucks, it's going to be through personal contacts. And I was reflecting on how when I was a little bit earlier in my Web3 journey, I was really encouraging my sister to get into NFTs, and she was looking through some of my NFTs, and she was really attracted to one of them, and she really liked the art, and she's like, oh, I love that one. And I said, well, I'll give it to you then. And so I bought her a ledger and I transferred her the NFT. I showed her a little bit about how to do all of that. And then I introduced her to that particular NFT community. And I realized, you know what? Okay, I did a few things right there, but I also did something wrong, because that community, actually, I knew that community, it didn't match her. And I felt like I did her a disservice, because now she has an NFT. She kind of likes the art. She might put it on her wall, but she has no connection to that community. And that what the utility of that NFT isn't something that she relates to at all. So I learned, so when I heard Katie speaking about this, I reflected on my sister and how I kind of quote unquote onboarded her, and I learned something about, and I thought, you know what, next time I'm going to do it better. I'm going to try to match someone with a community and just try to get a sense of what they might want out of Web3 before I encourage them or point them towards any particular NFT. So I hope that I do a better job of that in 2023, and that we all do.
Well, shout out to Katie, you know, one of our new co-hosts here on the pod, and you know, just you know, I am very blessed. You know, I love that you sent that one, Delphi, because I onboarded Katie into the space, and which is kind of cool. She talked a little bit about that on the episode, right? Like she was following me in Clubhouse, and she's like, "Should I get in right now?" And I was like, and this was last summer, and I was like, "I don't know enough of it right now to know if you should invest your money," and I was very hesitant. And then when she asked me again, like 2 months later, I was like, yep, I think you should get in. Like, I think there's a place for you. And I think Diamond Dogs was her first NFT project that she kind of jumped in on. And that's a great lesson for all of us, right? Like, I think we can talk about mass adoption. We can talk about how much we love the space, but like, are we proving it with how we onboard people? And then what are we learning from onboarding people? And then how do we share that with people so that others can onboard people better, right? I think that is a beautiful start, and I feel bad for everybody else, because you just set the bar pretty damn high on your very first wish. But hey, we got the voice of the intro, the outro, the music NFT, the creator of the spatials, Mr. Kevin Sturmer. What say you, my friend, on your wish for 2023 Web3?
It's somewhat in the same realm, but my wish.
Say I'm the same as her. I'm
absolutely. I'm not. But it's
people mix Kevin and I up all the time.
All the time, you know. When we were in NFT NYC, it was like, who's there? I know. Really, it was, you know. But it's. I think that we continue to grow as a Web3 community. That the technology and the trust continues to grow, and that more people have that aha moment of, oh, I get it. I understand why this is going to be meaningful. Maybe even if not today, but why this will change so many things in 2 years, 3 years, when the education and the litigation and finally the adoption, or the meaning, how it's meaningful in everyone's day-to-day life. That's my sort of wish, not only for the next year, but for the next few years, is that people have that revelation, because I had it a while ago. So it was just like, wow, okay, this is really going to change everything. A verified transaction on a blockchain that is completely immutable. It's unchangeable. And when you look at all of the different applications, and one of my favorite episodes still is all of the different business applications that nobody is talking about. And my hope is that more people have that moment. That's it. I think that we continue to grow, because I think we're in that Yahoo, MySpace. We might even be before that. But, you mentioned on the podcast that it's the 39th search engine is Google. So it wasn't the first one. And I think we're early in terms of getting those stumbling blocks, and we've got those early marketplaces. We've got those early experiences. And I think it's a matter of just continuing to grow and continuing to move forward, rather than saying, oh, well, we got a bear market, let's all give up. No, we've got to keep going, because there is light at the end of the rainbow, or pot of gold, or whatever it is. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it.
I like that. I mean, I think that's a beautiful wish for, because this space is overwhelming. It is technology, like, ridiculous. We have terms that make no damn sense. We have, platforms that make no damn sense, Discord. And we have a whole world that is really hard. And without that aha moment, right? Without that use case that you feel that makes sense to you and that you can explain it to your friends, this space is scary. It's lonely, and it's not sure if it's worth our freaking time. Let's be very truthful on that, right? And I love that one, Kevin. Well said. And I think that is a great wish, because I think there's a lot of people in this space. I think probably a lot of listeners that are still waiting for their own aha NFT moment, right? And that is a beautiful wish to go on there. So yeah, I mean, Delphi Cat and Kevin, bring in the heat. Leslie, I mean, you got the antlers on, so I think you're up to the challenge. But what say you?
Am I ever not up to the challenge?
This is very true. You are definitely up to the challenge, my friend.
Again, a 2-part answer, because it's well, do I talk about what I want for the community, overall in Web3, or for myself personally? I think for the overall community in Web3 as a whole, that I would love to see additional technology to catch up with the fear that people have in jumping into the space. I think it's a huge barrier for people trying to find more ways to harden the environment. And if we can find ways to help people stay safe, then I think that that'll create an easier entry for people to get in, because I would love more than anything for everybody to find a series of communities that they identify with. And I think that if only they could experience the level of support and community that you see in projects that you feel really deep about, that's a pretty amazing feeling. I've made more friends here than I probably have in all of real life. So, but for me personally, I think, of course, my goal, I would love to be able to be full-time, gainfully employed Web3. I mean, I think that that's where, I would love more than anything to be able to have a complete full-time job that pays, that I can say, yep, somebody values what I have to say or what I'm doing, my contribution, to the point where they're willing to pay me X amount of dollars for that. And I think that would be a really good feeling. Not that I need the validation, but that I feel after the time, that I've spent in here and the amount of communities that I've been part of, that would just really solidify that feeling for me, is to be sort of at the top of my game. So I would love that, but one step at a time. I'll take the community request and hardening the environment over my own personal gain for now. That can come later.
Well, we love all of that. You got a lot of nodding of heads here on video. And I think we also, let's face it, the space a year ago was one track, one revenue source, and it was selling NFTs, NFT revenue off of secondary market. And we know for a fact that is not sustainable, and it will not allow us to hire and create full-time employment in this space. We have to have additional sources of revenue. We have to have diversified business plans with these NFT projects, and even the brands that are in here. How many NFT tools and brands have now disappeared because they also were stuck in that same, siloed approach. So, Leslie, I think that's a beautiful wish for what we have moving forward. And I think the community component of it is, I think we're also learning how valuable community is, right? I think we take it for granted a little bit, and then we find one we love, and then maybe we start to get a little jaded and we leave it, and then we try to find a new one, and we're like, oh shit, this is really hard to find another really great like it's like, wow, that was great, but like I can move on. And you're like, oh wait, can I go back? Can I go back and rebuy and retract all of my statements about Psychedelics Anonymous? No, just kidding. But I I think that is, you know, part of the journey that we're all on. So Carter, I will bounce down to you, my friend. What say you on your wish for 2023, other than, you know, your time-lapse Smile 62 runs that you and I are going on together?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had some time to think about it, and I still bouncing back between a bunch of different things. I think for me, it's just being able to educate people on how to get involved, how to start. I think that's one of the biggest things, and I feel like me approaching it the way I have, I can kind of speak that language a little better than somebody who's a little bit more technical. So I think, and I've had those conversations with people, and I actually onboarded a couple of people a couple months ago, and like it felt really good. So I want to do more of that in 2023. But I think one wish that I had is a social platform, maybe one that exists now or one that's invented that really embraces Web3 and just goes all in on Web3, because I think, you know, it's bounced around a lot of different platforms communities have, and I don't know, it's hard to keep up with most of the times. And I think each social platform can, you know, brings its own value in different ways. But maybe just a new one that comes out that just is all Web3 and is where everybody lives. You know, a lot of people are on Twitter right now. But I don't know. I think there could be something that comes around. And one more thing before you get off me, a wish for 2023 is that NFT 365 collection sells big time, and you get everything you deserve for approaching this space and everything you've done the way you have. That would be something that I would have to say. So, well,
I love all of that. Although that first wish, I didn't say miracles, I said wishes. And I say that because I think we all want that miracle. Like we don't like. I in a weird way, I have faith in Elon with like the attention he's drawing to Twitter. I have like faith in Twitter just being better a year from now than it is now. Not because I like believe in Elon, just because I believe there's a ridiculous amount of eyeballs and there's a lot at stake. But heaven forbid, like if we could figure out a Web3 platform that gave us what we wanted, that was slightly decentralized. I say slightly, not fully decentralized Mastodon, because Jesus Louise, is that a nightmare to use? Holy cow. Everybody who tries to sell me on that, I can just tell you, your DMs are not being replied to, because I went all in. I spent like enough hours to get really frustrated on that platform. So I think great wishes there, Carter. And I think we'll tie back at the end a little bit about the Mint 365 collection and our wishes for that, because I appreciate you kind of bringing that in there. Jenny, we're going to go to you and then to Drew. So you might have a double window there for you. But for the Jenny, what say you on your wish for 2023?
My wish for 2023 is to finally meet some of my friends in Web3. I still have not met anybody in IRL. So like if I can just meet like even Super Gay Dad in Calgary, like I'm winning. So like, yeah, I'd like to just meet y'all, because you've made like real big impact in my life in the past year. So like if I can make a connection, I really like to. Other than that, I'm just trying to build my own brand and get out there in spaces. I want to be famous, like everybody knows. So like I'm still trying to get there. I'm one of Twitter's biggest female trolls. So like I'm hoping to be the #1 troll next year. Yeah, that's about it. I'm hoping to help people in their mental health. That's a big one for me. Drew, what do you say? Say you, Drew?
Before we go to Drew, I mean, Jenny, I have the biggest hug stored up and waited for you, and that is a 2023 hug that is there. And Leslie, that goes your direction, as well as we haven't had the pleasure of getting that, turning our hashtags and our social connections into hugs and selfies, which we'll definitely have to make happen in 2023.
Watch out, guys. I'm a hugger, like big time. Like I'll plow you over with a hug. So just
bring
out.
it on. Nice. Kevin, we've verified we are a group of huggers. Maybe that's the name of this episode, is like Team Hug is right up here, because we already have the world's greatest smile in Jordash. So we have Team Hug and the world's greatest smile. So like you can't really go wrong with that. And if anyone hasn't met Jordash in person, his smile literally lights up as if he should do every like Colgate commercial, every Like any teeth coming, everything. Like Jordash's smile, his smile is even more beautiful in person, and I can attest to that. As I got to hang out with him in Ohio.
Don't cover that thing, Jordash. Don't cover it up, man.
You're making him blush. Oh my gosh.
It's just the truth. But Jenny, I love that. I also will just say, for anyone that's listening right now and you're trying to find your space, your voice in this space, and you're not comfortable talking on spaces, you're not comfortable putting yourself out there. There was a native to crypto that I remember way back in the day that was like, I'm not talking about myself. I'm not going to get on spaces. What the hell am I going to say? How is this going to work? And literally that fuse was lit, and thank God it was lit. And so for anyone that's out there, if you need an example of like what is possible once you kind of step into your own, Jenny, you have done that, and you've done that, you know, beautifully and amazingly, and it's been 100% you. And the beauty of it is all you needed from all of us is just to remind you that you are a pretty damn good rock star at who you are, and you should never change who you are. And when you show up who you are, I think this space has been beneficial from that. And I mean, I still remember that messages, you know, 30 minutes before your space. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. What am I gonna say? And why am I gonna be a part of this? And am I gonna talk on this? And I mean, like, and literally, I don't think I think you've been in every space since that day, which I think is a testament you're putting out there. But I love that, Jenny. So Drew, I know you have Troll Drew or Elf Drew. What would Elf Drew say here? What say Elf Drew?
What say you, Elf Drew? Well, I'd just like meta athletes to hit 1 ETH, and that's all I want. And thank you very much.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I think he would like to make it to day 62 as well.
Yes, day 62. Yeah, so he's on attempt number 3, which I will give him credit for the transparency and the owning of that. You know, with Drew, and you know, it is a wild ride of this whole thing, right? Because Drew and I batting the idea around on that damn train, and then, you know, 6 days later or 5 days later, it all coming to life. And you know, take it or leave it. It's been one hell of a journey. So I love that you know, Drew wasn't able to be with us tonight. I think it is about 9:15 Eastern time, way past his bedtime, as he is the Gen Z young millennial that goes to bed, take care of his health, meditates, reads, walks. He's everything that I'm supposed to be at 41. So he like checks all the 41-year-old boxes, and I'm still a Toys R Us kid. So at least we kind of counterbalance each other well there. Jordash, over to you. Last but not least, what say you on your wish for 2023?
Right. So I have a question first. What comes after Gen Z? We go back to A?
I believe they're calling that Metaverse, Generation Metaverse.
Generation Metaverse. Gotcha. Well, this is perfect segue. So,
and I've read to qualify. No spreadsheets allowed on this answer, just to qualify. Okay.
I've already look. Anyways. So my number one wish is I'm gonna get 6 wishes. Okay. So that's my first wish. I'm gonna get 6 wishes. So 6. Number 1. And you kind of referenced this, Fanzo. We stopped talking so much and stopped so much focus around the technology and more so on the use cases. I think that's going to be a big next step for us. Kind of ties into what you guys were saying earlier. Number 2, there is sensible regulations put in place that's going to allow an influx of capital, much needed capital and liquidity into this space, but it has to be sensible, which I think we're hopefully trending in that direction. Number 3, I would say, is PFP stop being the damn main use case for NFTs. I think we are so beyond PFPs and what they are around. I think that's evolution number 1. I think we're gonna move into a next revolution of what the actual functionality NFTs can actually bring to this space. Number 4, I hope there is 0 bankruptcies and industry shaking scams next year. We had 3 of them this year, and I think that's a low bar to hit. I think we should hopefully be able to hit that. And the number 5, which kind of ties into this, which is very relevant, something that happened in this past week, is I hope there's zero celebrity cash grabs and scams happening and tarnishing the name of or the technology that's behind this, because I feel like the amount of influence they have just sets us back, 2 or 3 steps every time one of these happens, whether it's, Floyd, whether it's, we can go down and we could go name 5 or 6 of them that happened this year. And I would say
you can just look at my bag and all 5 of them.
I mean, even the NBA, Darren Fox, right? De'Aaron Fox, whatever, right. And Scottie Pippen just launched a shoe today, and I'm like,
sold out in 77 seconds.
Craziness. And that's just destined to not be anyways. So those would be my top 5. My last one is more on a personal one. I hope it is the year of layer ones, of new layer 1 blockchains coming, and more niche-based layer 1 blockchains, because that will definitely be a good situation. Actually, and Jen, just to preface this, layer 1s that actually are, up and running, unlike Solana. So,
yep. And I mean,
Snoop Dogg is launching on Cardano. I'm just saying.
And Delphi has literally been pitching me on Cardano for a year. And I've been holding off on my, and funny enough, the first crypto I ever bought was ADA. So it's a very funny circular road there and let's face it, I mean, Snoop, of all of the people, is a place I would invest, because Snoop at least has some really good Web3 people on his team. One of them I happen to know personally, and is a pretty pretty cool one. I mean, I love all these.
Did you see that he started a poll to see if he should run Twitter?
That's what I was going to say. Future CEO of Twitter right there. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, I wrote a blog post in 2014 on the 10 reasons why I should be the CEO of Twitter.
You should be.
Way before my time. It's still out there. You can look at it. It's on medium.com. I literally,
I'm going to start the poll if you don't.
I literally said, I said, why should I was like a power user that actually cares about, humanity and equal voice. And that was like, I had a whole pitch. I had a whole thing ready for why I should be CEO of Twitter. And then I had 2 friends that worked as executives in that space. And we're like, yeah, you don't want this job. I was like, oh, my bad. I mean, I love I think there's I think if we look at a theme of like, just the idea of like, so many of us care about the space. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be volunteering a lot of our time, even to record this episode, right? We're right in the holiday season. We all have thousands of things to do. There's lots of claims about people being busy, but there's a lot of great people. And I think of, the 6 of you, plus, little short, Gen Z elf Drew, included there, as well as our new co-hosts that are part of the podcast. I think if I had to throw out, I would throw out 2, I hope that there's curiosity. My wish is that in 2023, curiosity for the beauty that AI can provide for us all. And I think really just curiosity about AI. I don't believe you have to drink from the AI fountain. I don't believe you have to look for AI to be the end all be all. But I've been talking about AI for so long, yet I never expected it to impact my own, not only my own creativity, my own mental health. Right. Losing a person like Twitch a week ago, here in the space really hit me. It was. I'm an empath through and through, and I dove into creating AI art. I spent a couple hours just creating art as an outlet. And and to me, like, holy shit, like I would never have even thought, like that wasn't even like it wasn't even on my 1,000 things I could do to deal with grief. It wasn't on my board, and AI brought that to my board. A tool called Midjourney allowed me to kind of escape into this idea that I could, create this shoes and his hat that he always had. And I really worked on that. And so I think, I don't think AI is for everyone, but I do believe AI is going to impact everyone. And so I wish that everyone has a curiosity for AI, and then where AI can kind of fit into our worlds and our lives. And then the second one I'll throw in there is that, I do believe we've taken a couple steps back, and that when the bull run comes, we have to recognize that so many of the bad habits, so many of the things that we didn't like are going to come back, and there is nothing we can do about it. We're going to have cash grabs. It's like almost to me, like I just wish that we hold true to the culture and the things that we believe in, and we don't allow the influence of a return of short-term gains to allow us to kind of justify us kind of losing our North Star, because I do believe there are a lot of great people in this space right now, but a lot of us are hurting, right? A lot of us are hurting. You know, it can be mentally, physically, financially, all of the above. And we're going to be presented some very, you know, ethical line opportunities in the very near future. And part of that's just going to be because it's like, hey, people are going to come splashing back in this space. And we just have to hold true to what we all kind of believe in. And I think we'll kind of create that, but it's gonna be tough. I know that as an early adopter, especially because I've fallen victim to it. I fell victim more than once to being like, you know what? I didn't get to benefit the first time around. Second time around, screw you all, I'm going to benefit. And I lost myself in that. And it had to do with the platform Google Plus at the time. But yeah, I just throw that out there as two of those. Yeah, I know I'm aging myself with my Google Plus references. Again, Drew and Generation Google.
Drew.
Yeah, Google what Google Plus is. So we're in about an hour into the episode, which anyone that listens to this podcast, you've just learned to appreciate long form content. And just remember, my favorite podcast in the world is Armchair Expert. An average episode on that podcast of 2 hours. So like when I'm measuring against Armchair Expert, I'm always like shorter than that. But I'd be happy. Anyone wants to throw in any thoughts in this festival season? I won't, you know, kind of direct it around, but anyone want to throw anything in as we kind of bring this episode to a beautiful close and kind of celebrate the year? Leslie, go ahead.
Well, one of the topics that I at least wanted to bridge, and we certainly don't have to go to everybody unless anybody wants to contribute, is about our most favorite like 2022 memory, because one of the most important things we can do at this time of year is reflect about the past year, whether good, bad, or indifferent, so that we always, move the needle for improvement and appreciate what we have. And I have like totally short story, maybe not short because you know me, but
we don't require short stories on this podcast, or I wouldn't have a job.
right. Is hooking up with Drew, here back in like April or something, and after coming out of being a founder on a project, and I just randomly.
Can you clarify hooking up? Okay.
Details.
Start starting some rumors now.
I mean, there we have ventured interest in DJing clothing, and we're just gonna make sure that still works. Okay.
You know what? I absolutely meeting up with on Zoom, meeting up via Zoom, fully clothed. Let me put that out there. So randomly I get a message one day from Drew, like, hey, let's set up a time to talk. And I was like, listen, I'm not with the project anymore. So if you want to talk to them, you can, I'll hook you up with them. And she's like, no. I want to talk to you. I'm interested in what you have to offer. And so we had a conversation, and we were just like, he was really just like trying to learn more about what we had going on. It led to having a great conversation of like, here's the stuff that I want to do. And it's like, this is really in alignment with, NFT365 and Brian. And then before you know it, like a couple weeks later, we're having conversations, and I get to be part of a team that is amazing, that one very small thing that led to one other thing that led to something that I'm just so grateful for all the time, to find a home and a family of people in Web3 that are like my constant. So if I can say anything about 2022, finding that, even though I had to go through some shit to get there, I'm grateful for it because it brought me to here and brought me to you guys. So that's my moment for 2022.
And we're very grateful for Gato Tacos because that allowed us to discover your amazing genius and allow that to kind of come together, right? Like that's such a powerful point, Leslie, that like you really have no idea what small interaction, what small even failed partnership, failed collaboration, failed experience might create the moment that opens a door. And like, holy hell, like that is like a beautiful byproduct of 2022. Jordash, I know you were swiping left or swiping right. Are you jumping in there?
Yeah, no, I love what you just said because, I think I've said this before, and, I'll say it many other times, right? That there's that famous Steve Jobs quotes from when he gave that commencement speech at Stanford of, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can always connect the dots looking backwards. So you just got to have faith that what you're doing today is going to lead to something in the future. And that's where it's so important to realize that you may have some bad experiences, but when you look back, you're going to be so thankful that you went through those experiences, or you're going to be so thankful that those things happen, right? I can think right now, there's a project that one of my first projects I invested in, I put some ETH behind it. And I'm like, man, these things are worthless right now. But I look back and I understand, like, that was one of the beginnings of these relationships that I've been able to build in this space that have led to a whole bunch of other things. And I'm like, if that's the cost that it took me to get to that point, I'll do it any day of the week and twice on Sunday just to keep the Sabbath, right? And Fanzo, we've talked about this numerous times, right? We got connected for the first time in March of this year. You were at a talk at Social Media Marketing World. I raised my hand and said, yes, I collect Wheaties boxes. I got me an NFT365 vintage. It's probably going to be sold on eBay for millions of dollars here in a couple of years. That first and original NFT365 hat, right? But that was the point in time that we got connected, and we had a quick conversation there. And then if you think about it, dude, we've hung out in Ohio, we've hung out in San Diego twice, we've hung out in London twice, and we're doing some cool stuff together, and it's going to even lead into next year. So like, that's where I look back and I'm like, damn, if I never raised my hand, and then we never had a conversation in March, what path would I have been on? And my wallet probably would have been a lot fatter, listening to you and the NFTs that I invested in. But it's okay, stupid taxes are not always a bad thing. Stupid taxes are not always a bad thing. So, and Leslie, I just got to echo that. Like, I think that's something important for people to understand is, even failures, even mistakes, even things that happen today, do not discount the path that it's going to lead you on in the future. You just got to have that grounding and that North Star to say, this is the direction I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know what it's going to take me to get there. I'm just going to keep showing up until I get to a point where I feel like I'm there. And you just got to have that faith. And I think that's where fans, we were talking on a podcast we recorded earlier today of like, I don't get so caught up in the day-to-day of what's happening in the market, what the prices are, what the headlines are, whatever. I look for like mile markers of, are we still heading in the right direction as an industry, right? And I say this all the time, follow the money, right? We were talking about some of these people that are coming in this space, some of the amounts of investments happening in the space. As long as that's still happening, we've been around technology long enough that we know innovation is going to happen. We know adoption is going to be down the plate. We're just keep rolling along with this boat. We don't need to worry about what's right in front of us. We just know we're going in the right direction. So, I love what you said, Leslie. I just wanted to, share a couple of my points on that as well. And I think it's one of those things we just got to keep in mind, that don't get too caught up in what's right in front of you. Appreciate the journey along the way and just know that you're heading in a good direction.
Ooh.
Happy accidents leads. Sometimes the biggest mistakes or your biggest challenges will lead you. You had to go through that to get there. So I trust the process.
Right.
That's all we can do.
And anytime you can bring Bob Ross into it, it's a win.
I agree completely. And I will say, for those that are all out there listening, right? I think there is, I think there's probably from our listener base, there's probably a little bit of like, must be nice that this team has come together, right? Like I know there's that feeling that a lot of people would kill to just have a team. But I want to be very clear that the team that we have here that are on this video have sacrificed personal time, personal financial gain, personal opportunities. They've believed in what we've been building, and they've sacrificed so much to believe. Kevin is wearing his Believe Santa hat. And in many cases, some people have had to, take, full-time Web 2 employment while still believing in where we're doing, right? Some people have had to take 2 steps back because they still believe a step forward. And I believe, like, to me, like it's all of you, right? It's all of you that have not only been willing to, come on this journey together, right? I was interviewed last night, and someone's like, Brian, we love all the things you're doing, but why do you keep saying we? And because I kept saying, this is what we are doing. They're like, you must have this a massive team. Like, what's your payroll? How you make? And I was like, it is a we, but it's the we that, like, I recognize. I can't put in words how much each of your individual sacrifices have meant to me, how much your belief in what we've been building has meant to me. And I recognize also that, we were building, and we are building something that a bear market doesn't come. We are reaping benefits and we're riding high, but we also weren't building that to be like the only path. And I'm very proud of the fact that that wasn't our only path. And I'm very thankful that each and every one of you have brought to what you have to this community. And I will say, as much as I love each and every one of the people that are on our team, each and every member of our team is also has their own side hustle, has their own focus, their own passion. And there's opportunities to work with them and pay them to work with you and your team. And so like you want validated, I will tell you, people that I've worked on this team, every single one of them, I will put my name, I'll put my reputation, I'll put my project, I'll put whatever you want on the line and say they will be some of the best people you will ever work with in this space. So I say that to all the listeners that are out there that are saying like, how do I find the great gems that are here listening? The craziest thing is that every person here came from listening or supporting or coming to an event. Every one of you, every single one of you. I mean, one of you wrote a 10-page PDF and tell me why I suck, but everyone else.
It never gets old. It never gets old.
And the PDF gets longer and longer. Oh my God.
But it's the truth, right? It's the truth in this. Well, and the 10-page PDF does get longer each time. But I will just say like this, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, there is something to be said about finding your people. And Leslie, you mentioned this earlier. It's really freaking hard to make friends as an adult. I don't care who you are. I don't care how extroverted you are, how like involved you are in your community. I mean, COVID really screwed us in that like idea, but it's really hard to find your people as an adult, right? Like we are either driven by our kids, we're driven by our job, we're driven by our like nonstop like desire to make the world a better place. And I'm very thankful that, that this, amazing NFT space has kind of brought us all together. And I will say like my bigger wish more than anything else in this space is that I wish that all of you will continue on the journey and we will be here a year from now and be as tight, if not tighter. We will have hugs, Jenny and Leslie in person. Delphi can have a 12-page PDF by the time, a year from now, comes around. But I will just say, like, I think this is a testament to great people finding great people and believing in great things that we can do together. And no bear market's going to stop us. No freaking, Carter mentioned the Mint 365, right? We're going to sell this collection for those that are out there. It's been a little bit more than I imagined. Figuring out what does it take to sell this collection. I've never had a whole bunch of people that also own 52% of the revenue on the back end of this, right? I am like sometimes to a fault, I will do whatever I can to find joy in helping others find success. And I want to make sure that when this project drops and we are able to sell this collection, that it is the most opportunity for success. And I know I preach that perfection is a fairy tale, but it's a struggle to live that every day because I want this drop on Mint 365 to be perfect. And in a way, like I found a new contract that's going to allow us to actually stack every NFT within one NFT. There's a brand new Ethereum protocol out there that will allow us so that rather than us having this ridiculous nonsense that of like, we have this whole document of how people are going to, if you buy the mosaic, then you have to, have this wallet and we're going to transfer this, this, and this. There's a new actually protocol that allows us to stack every one of those NFTs, including non-ETH NFTs, and doing a digital twin and being able to put them into a contract. And so now I'm really figuring that out. I know Delphi, when I brought that up to her, she's like, Fanzo, are you making this more complicated? Are you adding
Fanzo?
I'm like, not me. I don't make things more complicated and create. But I will say, partially it's because I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, and I'm so damn thankful for everything that has been kind of the byproduct of all of this. And I think, what everyone's answers were for their favorite NFT, what their wishes are for 2023, all of that just cements more on like everyone that's listening to this is like, wow, everyone here is on the right team, right? And Kevin, you said it, right? And you sang it. our definition of success is very much shared, and our belief and our passion for that outcome of success is also shared. And I think that is something that is really unique in this, entire space. So, that's my TED Talk. I need to get a TED Talk in for every episode, because if not, like, what the hell would anybody be tuning in for? Delphi, I feel like you're leaning in to tell us more about your 10-page PDF.
13-page.
I wanted to just paint a little picture here. You guys, I love you guys, but you know what I'm having fun with right now is that we run the gamut of like being silly as anything, and then serious and just expressing a lot of love or admiration for each other. But if you guys are only listening right now, just picture we've got Santa hats on the video, we've got reindeer antlers.
All right, everybody pose. I'm gonna take a screenshot real quick for Twitter. So, and I don't want anybody telling me. Oh yeah, you got your Drew elf.
Yeah. Okay, we're posing.
I got that. We're good.
All right, we got elf, Drew the elf. We have Carter with your bells. Ring your bells there, Carter.
Hold on, I got you. Hold on.
So I got to tell you
that visual. We don't need that visual.
He was shaking his head really hard. You know,
he was shaking something really hard. We're just gonna.
You were talking.
I'm almost like a bottle of wine.
Everyone tear up, and then I'm looking around and just like I got tinsel around my neck. Like, this is awesome. I just love you guys.
You're a banister.
Yeah, I'm a banister. Yeah. I know. I took this tinsel from my banister.
Well,
I love it.
Jenny, are you jumping in? I see you leaning in there. No.
We are such a fun dynamic.
I should just say I'm sorry. I went to go to our chat and somehow got kicked out of the whole thing. I told myself not to go into the chat because somehow I'd hit the exit button out of everything, and I was right. So.
Hey, well, Jenny, I'm pretty good at telling myself not to do something and then trying to convince myself and then doing it anyhow. So, that's part of the reason that we're teamed is together. And I will also say, if you put all of our backgrounds, our resumes, our Web 2 jobs on a piece of paper, no way in hell would anybody believe that this would be a team that would work together to accomplish what the hell we're accomplishing. Like, I love you all, but there's no way in hell freezing over, aka where Jenny lives. We had to figure out, just for context for our listeners, we had to figure out what -42 Celsius was, because that's what it is in the Great White North that native to crypto lives. And we figured out that's when Fahrenheit flips, because I don't want anybody to do math and wreck their car or fall off the treadmill right now. So that's like -43 Fahrenheit is where she lives voluntarily, by the way. She like chooses to live in that.
It's not just you guys. Everybody every day all over Web3 asks me what the temperature is in Saskatchewan. And I like tell them and they're blown away. So like, I don't know what the temperature would be like in the Yukon or Northwest Territories, but like, I'm kind of proud of how cold it is here.
And for those that are wondering, the North Pole, and then that's where Jenny lives. Like, and you said everyone asked one question, and then there probably should be two questions. Like, how do you convert the temperature, and how the F do you spell Saskatchewan? I'm very confused. Like I've attempted multiple times, actually twice. I messaged Delphi one time trying to mention where you lived. I even voice messaged it, and my voice message did not pick up Saskatchewan. So like I don't even think I can say it right. Like my own little lisp and my dyslexia comes up there. But in all seriousness,
Jenny lives so far north. She's helping make toys right now for Christmas.
Yeah, that's how Drew showed up over here.
Yeah.
Now the question is, are you on that radar, the Google radar map when Santa goes around the country? Are you waving goodbye when Santa takes off? Is that
definitely. I help him some nights as well if I have the time. So like, don't tell any of the kids.
And with the sweater, you double as Where's Waldo in the day's time. So you have the Waldo and the
or Jenny.
Me and Drew were trying to match tonight. See, we were trying to match. So blame it on Drew.
So for everyone that's here, for everyone that's listening,
I love it.
We wish everyone, whatever you celebrate, if you're having one of those 8 crazy nights of Hanukkah, and yes, Adam Sandler taught me Hanukkah. I wish you a happy Hanukkah. If you are celebrating Kwanzaa, I wish you a very merry, happy Kwanzaa. You're celebrating Christmas. And I think we should probably leave with this, is that I've had a tough week. I've had 2 deaths, not to bring this in a weird segue, but we had Twitch, who unfortunately took his own life. And then a Pittsburgh Steeler legend at 72 years old passed away. We found out this morning, Franco Harris. And both of them hit me pretty damn hard. But they also reminded me really hard that we have to celebrate each other, celebrate every single damn moment. I mean, Franco Harris, the Steelers running back, who most of you don't even, if you don't care about football, what you should care about is he is a great humanitarian, a great human, someone that has been a steward of a football game. He gave an interview last night. He was giving a presentation tonight for a charity ball, and he went to bed last night and he didn't wake up this morning at 72 years old. And for anyone that you think about, like in our world, there's so much bad, so much negativity, but there's also so much damn good. And there's all these good moments and good people. There's good projects along the way. There's good opportunities. Not always good ones that I present here on the podcast. But I will just say, I challenge everybody in 2023. Imagine if we celebrated a good thing every day for the next 365 days. What would that look like for 365 days of consistency? Right? What would that mean for all of our, not only our own mental health, but those around us? Right? Like I've said this for forever. And I know Kevin's heard me say it for literally forever. So has Carter. Carter has been following me on social since, the early days of live streaming. When anyone asks me like what my secret for success has been, it's always been one answer: show you care. If you care about others more than what most people care about people, people remember you. People will go to bat for you. People will join a team for you. And you know what? The bar for caring is pretty damn low. Pretty damn low. And nobody that I know will say that you care too much, you celebrate them too much, you're too happy for their success. And I think as a beautiful kind of like a segue for this tough week for me, I might be a bottle of wine in at this moment, so it makes it even more sentimental. But I say cheers to all. I say merry, happy holidays to everyone, and we do have to in many ways cherish these moments, cherish the people around us. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Delphi Cat, the voice of the podcast there, Mr. Kevin Sturmer, Leslie L, aka La Capatina, Carter, aka the king and greatest host of any game night in any Web3, native to crypto, the once shy Discord moderator, soon to be celebrity famous Discord moderator in the Great White North. The amazing Jordash and the greatest smile in the space and business genius in many ways. I cherish each and every one of you. You've each been someone that I'm thankful for. You've made my 2022 what it is, and I don't know where I would have been without each and every one of you. So with that being said, everybody, it's a long episode. It's a beautiful episode. I hope you enjoyed with all of us. Drew, you missed out. I know you're sleeping right now, but I love you too, my friend Drew. You are not only a critical part of this team, but none of this would have been possible. Actually, I wouldn't have had any of these problems or pain points if it. With that being said, everybody, until next year. Actually, we'll have more episodes before next year, but because we can't not have more episodes. Love to you all, and have a great night, everyone. Cheers.